Howdy, hey, hi, hello, hola, mi amigos, aloha, friends. We are getting ready. We are getting ready for the afternoon session. AMC currently trading at 39.56, GME trading at 191, the SPY at 438, pushing all day. And now as we're getting a little bit closer to these FOMC meetings, like the meeting minutes release, I think people are waiting around. They're trying to figure out what is or isn't going on. I started this a little bit early because it should be coming out at 2, and how much time? I just don't want to miss the actual meeting drop. All right, we have a couple seconds. Let's see what's about to be said. Everyone hold tight.
It's a delicate moment. GDP forecasts are coming down. We're in a little bit of a slow patch, and I think the Fed needs to not overdo it with their tapering and not overdo it with their hawkishness.
And so we will wait and see as we watch and hear from Steve Leisman in just a few seconds' time, Kelly, on what the Fed will do.
A good way to break the linkage between rates and taper would be to move the dots out, but we'll see if that's what they do. Steve Leisman has the decision, Steve.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
Rates
brother.
are unchanged in the statement here, but the Fed said that if economic progress continues, reducing asset purchases may soon be warranted. I'll give you the exact language on that in just a second. The sectors affected by the pandemic, the Federal Reserve said, have improved in recent months, but the rise of COVID cases have slowed the recovery. And whoever, I think it was David Kelly, said it was right. They did lower the forecast for 2021 GDP. Back to that in a second. Decision was unanimous. Now, the median forecast now calls for a rate hike in 2022. 9 rate hikes were called for in 2022, 3 of which actually call for 2 rate hikes. The funds rate seen hitting 1.8% in 2024, so quite a bit of work to do. Unemployment rate is forecast, the median is slightly higher, 4.8% instead of 4.5, and a few other things. Somebody was talking about inflation there. They did pull up the inflation forecast, or at least the median forecast of all 18 members, to 4.2 from 3.4. It remains above 2%, interestingly, through 2024. This is our first look at 2024. And GDP was indeed pulled down. I'll give you that number there, 5.9% from 7%. So they took 1.1% off of the GDP forecast for this year. And next year, actually, they put a little bit back, about a half a point, 3.8%. So they're still seeing above trend growth through 2023. So I don't know what you want to call this. The pre-warning of a taper is the way you'd want to put it. They kind of put it in there. The exact language I will give you here. Let me just offer you that, what they exactly said there on tapering. And it was, if progress continues broadly as expected, the committee judges that a moderation in the pace of asset purchases may soon be warranted. So maybe it's time to think about putting on your seatbelt eventually for when the Fed eventually announces sometime in the future that it will taper, Kelly.
Steve, stay right there as we bring our panel back. Bob Pisani, Rick Santelli will also weigh in just a moment. Quick look at the markets show them relatively unchanged, I would say, Liz, from a few moments ago. But as we know, the first move is often the wrong one, or maybe it's right 24 hours later, and things often change like 28 times in between. With that said, Liz, I totally take your point about how they want to describe the taper. Is the taper, which sounds like it could happen in 6 weeks, is that a tightening or not? Well, the whole point is everything is getting tighter. So they're talking about the taper. They're moving the median first rate hike into 2022. That's all pretty consistent with, I don't want to use the word hawkish because it's priced in, but with this idea that, the evolution is happening. The pandemic framework is going away. They're getting us back to something more normal.
Yeah, the evolution is happening, but it's happening very, very slowly. And I think Steve said this earlier today on a different program, that even if they taper at the speed that we're expecting, they're still buying a lot of bonds through the first half of 2022. So it's not as if suddenly the liquidity is going to leave the system or leave the picture. There's still a lot of liquidity that they're putting in.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
As for the market action, I think before we got the announcement, it was interesting to see that the 10-year yield had fallen and equities were up strongly. So at broad brush, you could assume that the market was expecting a dovish statement. But if you pulled back the cover a little bit and looked at what sectors were actually driving, it was cyclicals, right? It was materials, it was energy, it was financials, industrials. So what that would suggest is the market is actually ready for a little bit of a liftoff in the 10-year and a rise in rates. And I think that is what we're going to see in a gradual way.
Here we
Rick
go.
Santelli, let me turn to you. And if Steve, correct me if I'm wrong here, but did you say that the median forecast for inflation now in the short term. Is it above 4%?
No. It's 4.2% for this year. They raised it. I'll give you the exact numbers just to be 100% accurate. It's 4.2% for 2021, and it's above 2%, which is their target. That's what I found interesting through 2023.
So that was my point
Slightly
there.
above.
That I misunderstood. Obviously, I thought that they were forecasting 4% inflation, which would have been a wild number based on what it's been running. Rick Santelli, your reactions.
Ripping.
You know, the main driver of late has been flattening yield curves, and I think we have some charts ready. If you look at 30s minus 5s, that's at a 13-month flat. That's the flattest since August of 2020.
Enough of this guy.
If you look at 30s to 10s,
we don't need to listen to that. Interesting. So the Federal Reserve, the FOMC meeting came out, and just so you know, this is not it. This is not the end of volatility. Like, you're seeing some crazy volatility. That's why I brought up the volume right here. We're seeing some, I guess, a huge volume spike on the day, people pouring back into the market at first. I mean, look at this 1 minute. Interesting action. It didn't know what to do. It came out, people sold, and then they bought back up. And then almost 4 minutes in, they're like, yeah, no, I think we do like this. And then they continued their buying. Interesting reaction to what's going on. Like you said, it sounds like inflation right now it's cooking a little bit over 4% currently, but they're looking to kind of bring that down to 2%. And really, overall, it's, what was it? That right here says tapering of bond buying coming soon. And then whoever was just talking on CNBC was talking about it maybe occurring within like 6 weeks. And this was expected. It really, really was. Like, there's nothing out of the ordinary that came out of this. There was no like bombshell announcement. We knew that they weren't going to mess with interest rates. Good chance of them not even touching interest rates until 2023. So this is about the bonds, and that was exactly what I was explaining this morning. It's all in the bonds. There's always, I don't know why we were talking about Arrested Development last night. I just want to say there's always money in the banana stand. There's always money in the government bond stand, folks. There always is. And right here, the question is just like, okay, what is their ideology on how they want to taper? Right now, it's about $120 billion a month. Are they going to go to 100? Are they going to go all the way down to like 60? It's all about the methodology of how they want to do this tapering. So we're getting some crazy reactions. Early this morning, or hang on, I'm going to go off on a tangent on that. So let's hold that for a hot sec. Just so you know, we're not done. In about, 20 minutes, the Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, will be speaking. He's going to come out. He's going to have some words. I'm assuming he's going to give us a little bit more insight onto how they want to taper. More information could be coming when Fed Chairman Jerome Powell speaks during his post-meeting news conference, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. This volatility, it's going to continue for probably an additional hour or something like that. This reaction, the spike in volatility, the spike in movement, not done yet. Definitely not done. We have some movement ahead of us, just so everyone knows. Historically, if you want to use the past how many ever Fed talks and stuff, they end up pumping the market. That's been the pattern. Today might be the first day they decide to not pump the market, but I don't believe that. I think that they are on their way to... Wait, what? We're seeing... Sorry, my own trading thing over here going crazy in the futures market. I'm getting all these messages of... I guess it's just all these alerts are coming up about what is going on with inflation and all this. Interesting. But right here, we still have more volatility to come. So let's continue to pay attention to this. But obviously, individual equities are reacting well, very obviously. I mean, AMC bouncing off of 39.50, pushing 40. You have GME bouncing off of 190. Not too high. We're looking for GME to break above 193. I had Tilray up earlier. I was talking about it with people in the Discord. It's just interesting. A lot of us were opining on why is marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, devil's lettuce, jazz cabbage, why is the sector trending down when we all just know that there's like the big social cultural push for this to be federally legal? And to me, being a very technical trader, I don't know. Like the technicals of it don't make sense. If you're talking about Tilray, one of the biggest cannabis companies, if you're talking about the sector, MJ as like the ETF that tracks the sector, once MJ as a Mary Jane, they're not looking strong, but to me, I still just think it's one of the best long-term plays we have in front of us because I strongly believe one of these days it will be federally legalized. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or a year, a decade. I don't know what the timing is, but upon federal legalization, I just don't see how this sector doesn't absolutely explode. So with it, the reason we're really talking about it today is because early this morning, we saw that Amazon was basically using some of their clout and their legal prowess and their financial resources to start lobbying for legalization. And hey, when Amazon gets behind something, they definitely get behind something. So I'm curious to see how this will all play out for the future of cannabis. We also had some interesting discussions about SENS, diabetic treatment monitoring potential here. That's the best way I could sum it up on SENS, SENS. Lots of potential, and you're just kind of dealing in the world of FDA and approvals and some other things going on in the background, but worthwhile to pay attention to for sure, both Tilray and SENS, and I guess for the marijuana industry, if you want to watch MJ, the ETF that's tracking it all. What do we have going on here? All right, where are we at? So we're waiting for that. We have about 20 minutes until we have the Jerome Powell discussion. So in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about crypto. Bitcoin, early this morning, I marked this out. I said, hey, dip buy around 42,000. We're now trading at 44,000. We're just seeing an overall push in crypto. Ethereum, 2,900, now at 3,100. We have Hex breaking out, going from 42 cents to almost 44 cents. And what's interesting, this was not on the screen this morning, Doge picking up from 21 cents to 22.5. And we have an additional development from Mr. Adam Aaron about Doge. So fascinating. Dogecoin poll was by far my highest ever read tweet. In 24 hours, 4.2 million views, my most ever retweets, most ever replies, 140,000 votes, 77% yes, 23% no. It's clear that you think AMC should accept Dogecoin. Now we need to figure out how to do that. Stay tuned. Very, very interesting. So Adam Aaron, I don't know, like the timing of it was interesting, but Doge kind of on that news. And I know Elon was involved in stuff, but we're seeing not only a pickup in crypto, which is probably helping it, but specifically a pickup in Doge, it's awesome. I think that's very, very cool. It gets me excited just because I personally see a lot of overlap and similarities between the Dogecoin community and the AMC GME Ape Nation community. A lot of people fighting against the status quo, trying to better their own financial health, willing to fight against the system. There's a lot of psychological overlap. And so, if you see some crazy partnership between AMC, GME, and Doge, like the trifecta, Wall Street, like our current entire economic system, better just watch out if these three end up pairing up. And it does seem like AMC, it's kind of interesting because Adam Aaron, he seems to be understanding I guess like the entire social landscape of this very, very well, like very, very well. He went out of his way to extend an olive branch and reach out to GameStop. He's now talking about Doge. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I think I tweeted about this months ago. It's somewhere in my Twitter history about AMC accepting Doge. And what was weird is initially the response to it was not good. People are like, why would we do that? And it's kind of funny because now people absolutely love it. AMC picking up, going above 40, GME 191. It's something. Matt Kohrs, Twitter, Doge. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find this, but I tweeted about it at some point. And at first it was not received well. And it's kind of funny that you fast forward a couple months and this is now legitimately a reality of some of the things that could be going on. All right. AMC flexing its muscles, GME flexing its muscles, Russell 2000 flexing it. I mean, we're looking good right now. We are looking A-okay. But I'm getting an annoying amount of alerts from the futures account. Should I just exit out of this? We're just waiting right now about 15 more minutes to see what is going on. All right, what do we have going on? What do we have going on? The SPY continuing to push. I very, very much like that. We're just waiting. Doge waking up, market waking back up. I like it. So right here, we kind of have an overall interesting development. So the Fed came in kind of a predictable dovish pattern, but I guess maybe people weren't that confident in it. What is this? So the Fed coming in, I'm trying to see if there's any breaking news about this FOMC stuff. Not really. Everyone's just predicting what the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, is saying. But we're going to have to wait. No point in guessing, really, because we're going to find out in about 15 minutes. And we could listen into a little bit of it. Usually all the good stuff's right at the start. So we'll be waiting on that. Crypto waking up, stocks waking up. The Fed coming in, I guess, a little bit softer than people expected. I'm fully expecting Jerome Powell to continue to push that narrative when he starts speaking today. Evergrande looked like they are in the process of paying off their debt, so not as extreme as people had initially predicted. And it does seem like we're making at least a little bit of headway involved in the U.S. right versus left type of a thing of what's going on with the debt ceiling. So all those pressures that the market was feeling on Monday and Tuesday, and let's say over the weekend. So the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, interesting. It's interesting that all of them are kind of calming down a bit, and it makes sense. They're calming down, and look at them, everything's going green. What else do we have going on? LFG, shout out, senor. Bought 400 shares of AMC at $40. Am I screwed? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I think you're buying on weakness, and it's always stronger. It's, in my opinion, better to buy on weakness. But I mean, I don't know what you mean by screwed or not screwed. I like AMC, but I'm also not clairvoyant. IRNT 100% utilization and still increasing the shorting. Remember, as more and more people are willing to lend out the shares, you can still have 100%, but the short interest can go up. Down 3,500 on AMC Sad Life. Wish I bought 2,000 shares at 5, but who knew? Hi, Matt. Once you get a chance, could you check out CEI? Yes, I will write that down. I will happily write that down. I made $15K in 2 days with options trading. Thank you for all your knowledge. I've learned so much from you and your input. Shout out, East Empire. That's amazing. That's incredible. Seriously, congratulations. I staked 12 million Shiba coins on CDC, 2% returns for 3 months. Can you explain what I did? Is that a good idea? So basically, you're letting them use yours to stake and provide updating the ledger, security to the overall system. You're not 12 million Shiba for a 2% return for 3 months. So it sounds like you won't be able to touch it for 3 months because they're kind of using yours for the blockchain. But because you're allowing them to use your position, you're going to get a 2% kickback. Staking, think of it as interest. Like when people do interest at banks and the bank's using your money, it's kind of the same thing. Not exactly the perfect scenario, but kind of the same thing. You've been making sweet love to my ears for 6 months. Thank you, by the way. We are pregnant, so congrats. Shout out the devil you know. Remember what I said about Tesla yesterday? I said it 3 times. It recovered sub 37. It ran. She's running, folks. Shout out Jeremy. I don't want a price prediction, but I have over 1,000 shares. How much money do you think I'll make? Hopefully a lot. A lot. Just got an email from the NYT saying the Fed signaled they would start lowering asset purchases and raise rates in 2022. So yeah, that's what we were just talking about with the FOMC, and we're going to get more insight to that in 10 minutes when Jerome Powell starts speaking in a live conference. My gut is screaming that something special is coming soon with ATR. Is total speculation, but my gut has made me a ton. Not advice. Shout out Wall Street Viking. We're just chilling at this breakout level. SKLZ thoughts. All right, we'll have to hop into that one in a bit. I'll write it down. Thoughts on RWLK, SKLZ, CEI. All right, SPY, still looking strong. Holding. Holding. ATR, all right, so let's check out this one. CEI, looking a bit weak right now. CEI, I mean, it kind of looks like when you throw a ball up into the air and it's arcing. That's exactly what this looks like. I would want to see how it reacts to $1.40, but I wouldn't be buying it at this level myself. I think there's too great of a risk of additional downside. Definitely don't need this. Why are these lines here? All right, CEI, what was the other one? RWLK. Weird inside day. I don't like this. It gapped down, went red inside day. There's no clear direction on it, but it does look like it's selling off. I would be worried about a gap fill down to 134. SKLZ, gaming company, looking strong in the short term, not necessarily long term if you zoom out, but in the short term, a nice double bottom off of 1020, pushing to 12, 13. I don't know. If this thing gets going, this one might get going up to about 1270-ish, maybe. I do like it. Data processing. Fundamentally, I like it as a company. Like, I like the sector it's in. I like what it's doing. But the chart does leave a little bit to be desired. But who knows? Maybe you're just getting it in on like an awesome discount right now. Whirring around Wednesday. Yeah, I feel like the market just didn't get the memo on turnaround Tuesday. Maybe it was just sleeping in. And it's like, oh, we got to do that. So now we're getting like a weird turnaround Tuesday, delayed by a day type of a deal. All right, I think we're good on that. We are good there. We are good here. The Federal Reserve votes to leave interest rates unchanged and says that the tapering of bond buying could be coming soon. Also, dot plot shows rate hike in 2022. So the prediction is for a rate hike, but I would assume it's going to be in the second half of 2022 if it comes in 2022. But we're just kind of waiting. All right, so AMC strong at 40, IWM, and we're just waiting. We're waiting, I guess, for various things, but we're seeing some bullishness in the markets. I like it. Big fan. Did I miss the AMC or text info? No, you didn't. I could quickly go over that right now just so you have it. AMC, they've borrowed 3.27, but it's a net return of $500,000 today. Short interest 20%. For GME, net borrow of 50,000, short interest 13.79%. And for ATER, just because I know there's more people watching it today, net return of 362,000 after borrowing 1.68 million, short interest 54%. No, we don't need this one. We don't need the White House one. Watch Jerome Powell. This is what we want. All right, we have a little bit here to go on this one. Fed says bond buying taper may soon be warranted. Market shows sign of strength ahead of Fed's statement. Fed examines a cloudier economic outlook. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, feels like a good day in the market. Always a good day to be an ape, folks. MT Pockets. How do you feel Tesla and where will it go? Tesla's having a good day. It's at 750. If 750 is a nice psychological level for it, I would be watching. We know it gets kind of caught up at 760. After that, if it breaks above 760, I would say the next stop is just a little bit over 780. Hey, Matt, tell Michael at TTG his ad is better now. Will do. You know, I hear a lot of people like kind of bagging on him for that. And I've actually, for whatever reason, I've never seen one of those ads. So I feel like I can't make fun of the group with all of you. But a lot of people are making the AO or something like that, I guess, is like the common joke. How do I feel about CEI? We just did a breakdown of it. It's looking weak right now in the short term. At least in my opinion. It looks like it's running out of steam. All right, what else do we have going on? What are some of the main questions we have cooking right now? Oh, I wanted to ask all of you, while we're waiting for the Fed to start talking in a couple minutes, did I finally fix some of these YouTube issues? Like, did you guys get notifications for this particular stream? I don't know if you get the notification when I create it, which I did at like 11:30 this morning, or if you got a notification when I actually went live. But if you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on, did it work? I'm still just trying to figure out some of the problems with YouTube there. But yeah, let me know. Why is TMC down? TMC, I personally never thought it looked good. I don't know who is ever pushing it, but I'm not a fan of TMC. Okay, notified. Some people saying they did, other people saying they didn't. Crap. I think more people are saying that they got the notification. But still kind of a mixed bag. Shoot. Why? Why is it a mixed bag? What's going on? Well, mixed bag or not mixed bag doesn't really matter. AMC's looking good, pushing 40.50 from here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. Boulay, I believe it was 41.50 is the next level. These net returns on AMC have been associated with red days. When you look back 2 days, I guess they're just covering all day into weakness. That amount of covering, well, hang on. It depends on the size of covering. When you have covering, that should be associated with green days. Most of the times when we see a big net return, it is actually associated with a green days 2 days before. And that makes sense because to cover, you have to buy back shares, guy. The Fed might mention our Texas Roadhouse deal. Shout out, Riley. Matt, your thoughts on why are they not charging more to borrow AMC shares? The companies lending surely know we exist and how the hedges are digging in a hole. I would think that they would up the fee. The cost to borrow fee that you're talking about right here, cost to borrow. First of all, this is already abnormally high. 2.2% is high to borrow stock. But it's not like an opinionated thing. Like it's just a model. It's supply and demand. How many people are trying to borrow and how many people are willing to lend theirs out? It's just a metric between those two. It has nothing to do with, like the riskiness of the situation or anything like that. It's just right here. This is the equilibrium. The way the stock price trades at an equilibrium, the cost to borrow is that. It's like, they're pricing it right where people are still willing to engage within it. It's always supply and demand. What's the supply of shares that could go out on loan and what's the demand for it? How many people are trying to actually borrow those and take those out on loan? That's how it's produced. Like that's how we get these numbers. It's the same thing as a stock price. It's all supply and demand. I've been only getting your Twitch notifications, no YouTube notifications for a while now. Very weird. Tried unsubscribing and subscribing again. Nada. Man, that's frustrating. I guess I just need to continue to talk with them about it. I don't know why. That's so frustrating. But just so you know, one of the ways that I am trying to battle it is, it seems like a lot of the issue is more so with like the amount of uploads in a day, which is exactly why the daily updates and some of these other ones, like for this morning, some of the things I want to just check out. Kohrs Lite, completely free. This is not like a paid member thing. If you're watching right now, all you have to do is search Kohrs Lite, find the picture of me as a duck emoji, and you can see where all the videos, like, so for example, this one right here, this is like the technical update from yesterday, like my normal, like, hey, this is the dumb money update, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's hop right into it. That type of a deal. It's going to go on this channel for a bit. We're seeing if that's going to help solve the problem, just so everyone knows what's up with that. But once again, it is Kohrs Lite. Has he been speaking yet? Nope. We're still waiting for him to start. We're waiting. What happens when the handle comes before the cup? That is just not a cup and handle pattern. Then that would be a different technical structure. I don't get AM alerts, but get the midday and nights. What are they doing? Like, why are some... I just don't get it. But seriously, don't ever do that. Ayo, I will never listen to him because of that ad. I just don't get it. Like, it's so funny because I see so many people talking about it, and I've never seen that ad. So I feel like I'm like out of the joke on it. All right, where were we at? I just want to see a quick snapshot of the market before we get rocking here. A little bit choppy, but I would say favoring the bulls. Is he talking? Come on, man. 230. It's already 231. He should be chatting away. He should be a little chatty Cathy right now. Waiting. Bitcoin pushing, Ethereum pushing, Hex pushing, Doge pushing, AMC pushing, GME pushing, market pushing, Tesla pushing. Everything is going to the upside. I like it. Here we go.
Strongly committed to achieving the monetary policy goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment and price stability. Today, the Federal Open Market are zero and maintained our current pace of asset purchases. These measures, along with our strong guidance on interest rates and on our balance sheet, will ensure that monetary policy will continue to support the economy until the recovery is complete. Progress on vaccinations and unprecedented fiscal policy actions are also providing strong support to the recovery. Indicators of economic activity and employment have continued to strengthen. Real GDP rose at a robust 6.4% pace in the first half of the year, and growth is widely expected to continue at a strong pace in the second half. The sectors most adversely affected by the pandemic have improved in recent months, but the rise in COVID-19 cases has slowed their recovery. Household spending rose at an especially rapid pace over the first half of the year, but flattened out in July and August as spending softened in COVID-sensitive sectors, such as travel and restaurants. Additionally, in some industries, near-term supply constraints are restraining activity. These constraints are particularly acute in the motor vehicle industry, where the worldwide shortage of semiconductors has sharply curtailed production. Partly reflecting the effects of the virus and supply constraints, forecasts from FOMC participants for economic growth this year have been revised somewhat lower since our June Summary of Economic Projections, but participants still foresee rapid growth. As with overall economic activity, conditions in the labor market have continued to improve. Demand for labor is very strong, and job gains averaged 750,000 per month over the past 3 months. In August, however, job gains slowed markedly, with the slowdown concentrated in sectors most sensitive to the pandemic, including leisure and hospitality. The unemployment rate was 5.2% in August, and this figure understates the shortfall in employment, particularly as participation in the labor market has not moved up from the low rates that have prevailed for most of the past year. Factors related to the pandemic, such as caregiving needs and ongoing fears of the virus, appear to be weighing on employment growth. These factors should diminish with progress on containing the virus, leading to more rapid gains in employment. Looking ahead, FOMC participants project the labor market to continue to improve, with the median projection for the unemployment rate standing at 4.8% at the end of this year and 3.5% in 2023 and 24. The economic downturn has not fallen equally on all Americans, and those least able to shoulder the burden have been hardest hit. In particular, despite progress, joblessness continues to fall disproportionately on lower wage workers in the service sector and on African Americans and Hispanics. Inflation is elevated and will likely remain so in coming months before moderating. As the economy continues to reopen and spending rebounds, we are seeing upward pressure on prices, particularly because supply bottlenecks in some sectors have limited how quickly production can respond in the near term. These bottleneck effects have been larger and longer lasting than anticipated, leading to upward revisions to participants' inflation projections for this year. While these supply effects are prominent for now, they will abate, and as they do, inflation is expected to drop back toward our longer-run goal. The median inflation projection from FOMC participants falls from 4.2% this year to 2.2% next year. The process of reopening the economy is unprecedented, as was the shutdown at the onset of the pandemic. As the reopening continues, bottlenecks, hiring difficulties, and other constraints could again prove to be greater and longer lasting than anticipated, posing upside risks to inflation. Our framework for monetary policy emphasizes the importance of having well-anchored inflation expectations, both to foster price stability and to enhance our ability to promote our broad-based and inclusive maximum employment goal. Indicators of longer-term inflation expectations appear broadly consistent with our longer-run inflation goal of 2%. If sustained higher inflation were to become a serious concern, we would certainly respond and use our tools to assure that inflation runs at levels that are consistent with our goal. The path of the economy continues to depend on the course of the virus, and risks to the economic outlook remain. The Delta variant has led to significant increases in COVID-19 cases, resulting in significant hardship and loss, and slowing the economic recovery. Continued progress on vaccinations would help contain the virus and support a return to more normal economic conditions. The Fed's policy actions have been guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people, along with our responsibilities to promote the stability of the financial system. Our asset purchases have been a critical tool. They helped preserve financial stability and market functioning early in the pandemic, and since then have helped foster accommodative financial conditions to support the economy. At our meeting that concluded earlier today, the committee continued to discuss the progress made toward our goals since the committee adopted its asset purchase guidance last December. Since then, the economy has made progress toward these goals. If progress continues broadly as expected, the committee judges that a moderation in the pace of asset purchases may soon be warranted. We also discussed the appropriate pace of tapering asset purchases once economic conditions satisfy the criterion laid out in the committee's guidance. While no decisions were made, participants generally view that, so long as the recovery remains on track, a gradual tapering process that concludes around the middle of next year is likely to be appropriate. Even after our balance sheet stops expanding, our elevated holdings of longer-term securities will continue to support accommodative financial conditions. The timing and pace of the coming reduction in asset purchases will not be intended to carry a direct signal regarding the timing of interest rate liftoff, for which we have articulated a different and substantially more stringent test. We continue to expect that it will be appropriate to maintain the current 0 to 1/4% target range for the federal funds rate until labor market conditions have reached levels consistent with the committee's assessment of maximum employment, and inflation has risen to 2% and is on track to moderately exceed 2% for some time. Half of FOMC participants forecast that these favorable economic conditions will be fulfilled by the end of next year. As a result, the median projection for the appropriate level of the federal funds rate lies slightly above the effective lower bound in 2022. Participants generally expect a gradual pace of policy firming that would leave the level of the federal funds rate below estimates of its longer run level through 2024. Of course, these projections do not represent a committee decision or plan, and no one knows with any certainty where the economy will be a year or more from now. More important than any forecast is the fact that policy will remain accommodative until we have achieved our maximum employment and price stability goals. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to support the economy for as long as it takes to complete the recovery. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Okie dokie, artichoke. All right, so here is the dealio. I just took a couple quick notes that maybe it's just something, the highlights, if you will. So right now, are they doing any tapering of asset purchases? Are they stopping in any way the current purchases of $120 billion in treasury bonds and all that good stuff a month? No tapering whatsoever, and interest rates at zero. They basically have said that interest rates are they're going to be at 0 to 0.25% basically for pretty much at least a year. We're talking the end of 2022 is when they might consider raising interest rates back up. And at that point, they're still looking at their goal of maximum unemployment. And also they're going to have to consider an inflation. And it was because of some of these commentary that we're seeing this right here. All right, hang on. What else we need to talk about is, what are we looking at? So the unemployment is currently 5.2%. End of year, they're looking for 4.8. And in 2023, 2024, they're looking to get it down to 3.5. Inflation is currently 4.2%, and they're looking to get that down to 2.2. Of course, they're always trying to get to 2%. So right now we're clocking in at like double the inflation that they're actually comfortable with. And for this tapering thing, they might start tapering this November. And if they do that, it would be a gradual process until the middle of next year. So that's what you need to know about tapering. That's what you need to know about interest rates. That's what you need to know about unemployment. And that's what you need to know about inflation. So those are like kind of the four major things of like, all right, like some of them we knew about. Like we knew they weren't going to touch interest rates. We kind of already knew from the August report, inflation around 4%, double what we want it to be. Unemployment, that data is not hard to track down. So out of those were three of the four. The fourth one was the question about tapering. What are they doing with tapering? And right now, I guess the market is not the most stoked, the most, supportive of them starting their tapering in November. So in about 6 weeks, that would be my best guess on like his commentary right there, that now they're like, whoa, what's going on, Mr. Powell? I guess they're just saying, hang on. Maybe they wanted him to start the tapering afterwards. Maybe they were hoping that tapering wouldn't start until 2022. But overall, pretty dovish. Dovish is, I guess, for us, at this point in time, you could say better for the market. And remember, the market's up 1%. That's a noteworthy day for the S&P 500. Up 1%, the Q's up 1%, Russell 2000 up 2%. Right here, I mean, the bars that we're seeing actively trading are very much based on like his particular words and what he is or isn't saying. But overall, I would interpret it to be pretty bullish for the market, the commentary, the decisions, and their outlook going forward. I think as this comes in, this will good chance of it relating to at least this gap fill at 441. On the NASDAQ 100, we're looking for a gap fill up to 472.75. The Russell 2000 already gap filled, so we don't even need this. The Russell 2000 hit its gap fill today. If it keeps going up, I'd watch 223.5, then 224.5. But overall, the market reacting well. Like we're up, we're holding, we're up. Green day. AMC is at $40, key level there. GME is at 192. I want to see it test 195 and then 200. Like I said, the Russell's looking strong stuff for right now. I have turned off my TV after that. Hey, what's going on, Chris? Steve Martin, I can't send member message. Nope, you can. I read that. Working fine, working A-OK. A-OK. I wonder, Dogecoin to the moon. Let's make it trend. Go crazy. Hey, I think it's really fun that, I think it's really awesome that they're going to be in this world of Doge, just because the cultures that you're getting involved with it, the Doge culture, the AMC culture, the GME culture, those things, like the more cross-pollination we have between all of those, I think the more interesting this all becomes. Very broad FOMC support on timing, pace of taper. That's good. FOMC signals rate hike in 2022, sees tapering ending mid-2022. So the rate hike thing, they are looking at the end of 2022. I wouldn't say like, oh, it's probably a year out, the interest rate part of it. What else do we have? Households are not going to feel the slight overshoot in inflation in outer years. What else do we have? Taper announcement could come as soon as next FOMC meeting. So that little statement right there, announcement for in terms of tapering announcement could come as soon as next FOMC meeting. That's probably like the little red, but like look at how we've come on the day is kind of my point here. What else do we have? Language and statement meant to flag bar for taper could be met as soon as next meeting. Man, so many of these people are being like hyper dramatic about it. Super, super dramatic. Of like, yeah, he said that, but talk about like nitpicking in an individual statement. Pal, this is from Short the VIX. Pal, we will do everything it takes to support the economy. Brr. They will. They will. They will. They will. They will. All right. I think that's about it. I don't think there's any other like bombshell of a situation. I think that's pretty much it. Hey, Matt, I've been watching EVGO for a while. It's now on the threshold list. How does Ortex and chart look to you? EVGO. Let me pull up Ortex. EVGO. EVGO. Short interest of 20.87%. Shares on loan is 6.28 million and a utilization of 97.72%. So it has all those numbers. You said it's on the threshold list. So with it, you just need the price action to start bending back around. The thing missing on EVGO right now are buyers. All this thing has really done is downtrend. So I would want to see it show some strength and maybe get back above 10 or 11 or something like that. But other than that, it does meet all of the criteria. It's just that one major criteria of where are the buyers is the current one missing. So worthwhile to keep your eyes on brambles. Hey Matt, I heard you mention the hex chart. Have this missed any discussions? I've been talking about hex just a little bit here and there. I'm in hex just to be fully transparent. Actually, all the ones I'm in Bitcoin, I'm in Ethereum, I'm in hex, I'm in Doge. So if it sounds like I'm being optimistic about them, well, yeah, I mean, I have my money at stake in all four of the ones on the screen. I own Solana, I own Matic, I own Algorand, I own Litecoin. All of these, I'm bullish on crypto. I don't actively trade it, not at all. My biggest percentage gains are probably currently hex. I picked up hex around, I don't know, 8 or 10 cents in like June and currently trading at 44 cents. And then I picked up more. I mean, I even announced it that I doubled up my initial investment at 38 cents and we're now trading at 44. I'm a fan of hex. I'm a fan of Ethereum. I'm a fan of Cardano, Bitcoin, Doge. I'm a fan of all of those. Thus far, the only crypto investment I've done that I'm not the most thrilled about is probably Litecoin. I got into it way before I understood what it was or wasn't. So I guess that's on me, obviously. I misunderstood what level. Brother. I misunderstood. Oh, I'm also in VeChain, just so everyone knows. But Litecoin, that's probably the only one that I was like, oh man, I wish I put that money somewhere else. But I also didn't put that much money into it. So woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not the biggest fan of Sheeb or SafeMoon. I'm not necessarily against them. I just think there's better opportunity. All those other ones I just discussed, I think represent more opportunity than Sheeb and SafeMoon. Thoughts on AMC right now? I like that it's battling at 40. I like that AMC's in the green. It's up 2.7% on the day. GME is up 0.8% on the D. I mean, I like it. I like the green. The short interest is now interesting. It's above 20%. GME also going upward, almost over 14%. So we're seeing the aggression of the bears in both AMC and GME increasing. Hey, Mort, should we have face protection on today? AMC feels like it might start ripping them off. I hope it does. I hope everyone's face gets ripped off by AMC. I'm ready for this one to go. With it, whatever the Fed is, what is he saying right now? Whatever this dude is saying, he's not saying it right, because the market has been selling. So the pure numbers, when the meeting minutes came out, market spiked. But now ever since he opened his mouth, it's just selling. Is he saying something stupid?
All the facts and look at ways to further tighten our rules and standards.
Great, thank you. We'll go to Steve Leisman.
What kind of questions are being asked here?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to follow up on Gene's question. The issue of ownership of these stocks and trades. Do you think it's appropriate for Federal Reserve officials to be owning the same assets that the Federal Reserve is buying? Is that one of the modifications that you're looking at? And in that,
no, they shouldn't be. Yeah, that one guy, what was it, Texas? Dude, that was a scummy guy. What he was doing, he was using his position for his own financial gain. That was messed up. I don't see anything too crazy in these updates of why it's the bond tapering conclude middle of 2022. I feel like a lot of news outlets are overstating it. They're like, oh, look at, we might start tapering now. I think they're trying to get people to click on it, and people are making decisions on just reading the title, not understanding that they're like, yeah, we might start in November, and if we do it, it's going to be slow all the way till mid next year. But the amount of tweets, am I frozen? Am I doing something? Hello? Your stream quality is good. Do I have any skipped frames, drop frames? What happened? No audio. My audio cut out? Hello? Testing? Testing.
Hello? Testing.
I don't know what's going on. Am I getting trolled? If I am, I don't know. If you're having a problem, just hit the quick refresh button. I don't know what's going on now. Now I got knocked off my game. Come on, Matt. Focus. Kelly Ripa would never do this. It seems like a lot of people can hear me. If you're having a problem, just hit the old refresh. Hey, Matt, would you recommend the True Trading Group membership? I want to learn more about, but it's legit and worth it. So I am not a True Trading Group member. I don't have the membership myself. All I can tell you is my interactions with both Adam and Mike. Hey, it's a full-on trading education course. Yes, my goal is to teach. Their goal is to teach. But if you're looking at True Trading Group, I wouldn't say they're necessarily a beacon of the apes. They're not hardcore into AMC and GME. Sometimes they're long on them. Sometimes they're short on them. Sometimes they're not playing them at all. That's just an active group of traders. So you have to ask yourself what you want. Let me put it this way. Most trading groups and trading gurus and furus I hate vehemently. True Trading Group is one of the very few that I think is actually honorable, and I I can't sit here and be like, yeah, like totally everyone needs to sign up. But I can say through public things and also private things I've found out, they go out of their way to be pretty honorable and do what I would consider to be the morally correct thing. So I can't really comment on the education. The people I know in it seem to enjoy it, if that helps you at all. But what I can comment on is what I know about them as human beings. They do seem to be pretty like upstanding people, if that makes sense. The Hexagon charts are calling 277 hex by Christmas. Are you able to take a quick look? Oh, the Hexagons. I mean, I love these names in the Hex community. One of the funniest things about the Hex community is right here. They're called Hexagons. They buy stuff and it's called a Hex Flex. Like, talk about like the fun marketing. Like Hex, it's a perfect thing. HEX, Hex, it's fun to say. The marketing team behind Hex, as in, I don't really mean the marketing team. I mean the people who like it and the fun puns in it. I think it's hilarious. I don't know anything about 277. If it hits 277, I'm going to lose my mind and I'm going to be super, super happy. Like, I want it to hit that. Hex, I think it has a lot of growth in front of it. To me, when you learn about these other projects, they're very fancy smancy and you have to have like some big technical understanding to really get to the bottom of what it is. Hex, the guy who created it, the dude took CDs, certificate of deposit, something that has been well known by the banking industry for decades and decades and decades. He threw that on a blockchain and people like it. It's that simple. People like what's going on. I think the beauty in Hex is the simplicity behind it. People love CDs. I'm going to throw that on a blockchain. And he made it pretty secure. The code, it's done. The project is complete. Like, you hear about all these other forks and code updates and this and that. Hex is done. It was done when it launched. I think the beauty in Hex is its simplicity, and then I just stay for the humor in the group. The like Hexagons, Hexflex stuff. I find it so funny. I'm learning more about it. I've been in a little bit of a contact with the creator recently. I'm fortunate that I've had a very small conversation with him. Hart is his name. He's on Twitter. He has a YouTube channel. You can find him. It's interesting. What is going on? Oh, with my like the app. Like, I see refresh. If it's not working, YouTube is recovering. What is YouTube doing today? Why is YouTube so against me? I don't think anyone is having issues elsewhere. Let me check out on Twitch. No, it's working perfectly fine on Twitch, and it's also working on Rumble, it appears. Yeah, YouTube is just struggling, man. It's having its own probs right now. Am I frozen? Hello? Mom? I don't know what's going on there. No clue. No sé. I don't know. I don't know. What was it like last week where the screen just went green on me and it was fine on the other ones? I guess, I don't know. It's just tech issues. You never know what is or isn't going on. Intermittent in your words. Intermittent in my words. How do you know it's just not me once in a while? Not really. And then, or am I just messing with you? Maybe it's just me. You never know. You never know. Starbucks drive-thru employee saw my moon gang and said, "I love your hat. I'm a Leo." LOL. I was so confused. Lady, I'm an ape. Lady, I'm an ape. Man. The Hexagon charts are calling. All right. So Luke, I hope all of crypto rips. I want everything to rip. If you're in it, if I'm on it, I want it to rip. All the things we talk about day in and day out. I just want to see so much green. We don't even know what to do. We just have so much money. We just vomit because we don't even know what else to do. It's just, that's how green it is. Can you look at CRTD? CRTD. Doesn't really seem like it's moving. It's been range bound ever since July. I don't know. Doesn't seem good or bad. It seems like a bunch of not moving. What else do we have? Thoughts on ATR? Does it moon soon? I'm not in the game of like predicting price levels or when things do or don't move, but ATR, it's looking strong. And look at that. They just try to knock it back down and it's already fighting back. The price level is impressive. The short interest, the utilization, the shares on loan, a lot of that stuff it's something. It's impressive. ATR, it's a strong candidate, but just because it's a strong candidate doesn't mean anything has to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if ATR has a pretty big move, but just so everyone knows, I don't have an ATR position. Did you see Trey's market sheet video? Been using it on SPY last week, up 110% so far. Been keeping using the money till it fills, then fills the gap, then buy AMC. I'm trying to think, have I seen that one? If that's the one where he's just talking about buying at supply and selling at demand, I don't know if I've seen it, but I've like talked with him about it. And yeah, like you have region of supply, aka support, and you have or that would be demand. You have support, which is demand, and then you also have regions of supply, which would be resistance. You can definitely play from like region to region. That's a very, very common one. If that's what you're talking about, like I hope I'm not like misspeaking about what's going on. But if that's the one, that's what you should be doing. That's what everyone should be doing. You want to buy at demand points and you want to sell at like resistance supply points. Like that's the entire reason why we talk about supply and demand, because that's where you're looking for a bounce or a rejection, and you could play it either way you want. But if that's what you're referring to, very, very solid. That's what most people engaging in the market have been doing forever. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for areas of demand and they're looking for areas of supply. That's what the market's been for years and years and years. Hey, Matt, can you look into Fuel Cell, FCEL? Fuel Cell looking very strong, up 11.4% today. Why? Is it trying to break out of its region of demand? So right here, we're just talking about regions of supply and demand on the daily chart. It looks like it's trying to get out of its own region. Like we traded, so we had this area of supply. It sold all the way off into this region of demand. Let's see if it breaks above it. I mean, it's kind of funny that you call that out right after a discussion about supply and demand. This right here, this range bound, it's clearly demand. And I'm almost curious if it's going to get back up to this region of some, not the best region, but I would actually kind of draw it like, it's going to click. Yeah, if we get this push, I want to see how it reacts to somewhere in the low 9s, roughly. Hey, Matt, what's IRNT cost to borrow? It's close to 600%. That means there's a lot of demand to short it. IronNet. Looks like the cost to borrow is 758%, which is crazy. How is IRNT doing? Not looking good, though. The chart is showing some weakness. You would want IRNT to bounce between 29 and 26, so like as in soon, or you might be saying hello to 24. So just remember, just because something has a high short interest, a high cost to borrow, a lower flow, a high utilization, that doesn't mean it has to go up. Sometimes the shorts are right and they end up pushing it down, and that's how they make their money. So with this IRNT, I mean, if you're in it, I do wish you the best of luck, but I wouldn't feel the most at ease being long on IRNT at this moment in time. If this cracks below 29, you might see a quick push all the way down to 24, 25, something like that. It's just, we had a push, it based, pushed again, and right now, who knows? Maybe it's one green day. Here, IRNT, I would say it's bullish if it goes above 35 and bearish if it drops below 28, 29 is how I would look at it. It's kind of right now in that in between. My knee-jerk reaction is to say bearish, but before, look at, we had these couple red days and then it showed strength and moved anyway. So I would be curious if there's one kind of similar to what we saw on September 10th. If we get like a nice buying day one of these days, that might mean that it wants to move again. But until then, it leaves a little bit to be desired. All right. But huge cost to borrow fee. Every day that it doesn't fall, the shorts are going to be way, way more scared. So the time is moving against shorts. They need the stock to fall and fall very quickly because they're hemorrhaging money on the cost to borrow fee. Hemorrhaging money. All right, ding, ding, ding. Start of power hour. 1 hour to go. Are cost to borrow fees locked in when borrowed, or do they slide with the current cost? I've actually read differing things on this, as in some people, I always thought of them as dynamic, and I don't know if that was just because of the brokerages I've previously used, but then I've seen other people who are like, no, on my brokerage, like it's locked in on the day. So Wall Street Viking, I'm going to leave it at that. I've seen precedent for both. Why don't he talk about any anymore? Because I feel like it wasn't moving, right? Yeah, it's just not doing anything. Any hasn't really done anything that exciting since September 3rd. I mean, I can't like talk about any, if like, I can't just leave up a chart if it's not moving at all. I mean, this stock is up 38 cents, 39 cents today. It's just not moving. If it starts to bend back around, you're looking for this breakout above 760. ANY gets above 760. This party's back on. You're just looking for it to get above 760. So when that happens, I mean, I think any could push, but we just need to wait. Patience, patience, patience. Hey, Matt, on AMC, how are the option chains looking for this Friday? Is that 30K call contract at $40 strike battle zone for end of week? So we're on a weekly right now. So there's a good chance that there's far more open interest at October's monthly than this like one-off September one. Remember, the monthlies have a lot more money and a lot more open interest than the weeklies. And this particular Friday is a weekly, so I don't think there's going to be some major battle for a level. There of course might be, but as of now, I mean, I could review the options train in the update video tonight, but there was like a lot more being bet last week than probably this upcoming week. But just because there's more, that doesn't mean that like if AMC starts moving like very, very soon, because today's already Wednesday, if we get some nice movement tomorrow, I see no reason why the option chain might not be bloated by Friday. But if I had to guess right now, just from the options market, there's going to be more bets made in the October timeframe just because September is almost over. All right, what else do we have? Can you take a look at LICY? Financial conglomerate. I don't have like any special insights to this one. Not the best looking chart. It's been bullish recently, but the point to get in was at $8 or at $9.25, not on a gap up that goes red. Oh, someone just said that Payne tweeted. Payne. Charles Payne, what are you up to? I'm not seeing a recent tweet from him. He said thank you, and then he's talked about Adam Aaron, how he should talk with Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, or Michael Saylor. Obviously, all three of them are pretty excited about crypto, and then obviously Mark Cuban and Elon specifically excited about Doge. Dave Lauer just tweeted, I'll be doing a Reddit AMA next week, Wednesday, September 29th at 12:30 Eastern. Here is the thread for questions. He just tweeted that out. It's always interesting to hear what he has to say. The guy's a wealth of information, so that could be interesting. Netflix announced a Netflix documentary September 28th, so in about 6 days, Britney versus Spears. Whoa. Britney versus Spears. Bar for rate liftoff is much higher than for tapering. That's back to the Fed. What else do we have going on? I think it would be fun. I really do. I think I would. I'm just looking at Charles Payne's tweet here in reference to Adam Aaron talking with Elon or Mark Cuban or Michael Saylor. I mean, given the opportunity, I would speak with any of those guys, all of them, all at once, one of them alone. It doesn't really matter. I would talk with any of those guys within a heartbeat just to have a good conversation about crypto. I'm a fan of crypto. I myself am trying to learn more about crypto. I think crypto is a great long-term investment in my own deduction of what's going on and seeing the trend in technology. Elon, Mark Cuban, Michael Saylor, all of those guys, all of them are self-made billionaires who love crypto. What an opportunity. If I could, I would talk with any of them. ATER breaking above that 15 level. We have some nice volume on the day, 63 mil. It's actually light volume for ATER. Well, let's see what gets going, because this thing, it just made a new intraday high. ATER, like we were saying, I didn't have a position. I still don't have a position. We were just talking about it a little bit earlier. This thing is looking strong. The next stop, maybe 1670. Maybe. I guess then after that, 1860. ATER might have some serious moves ahead of it. Right now, I'm a little capital, like my capital's tied up, AMC, GME right now. If it weren't, I would probably be trying to make some sort of play on ATER, but alas, I'm not. Important question. What are some of your favorite games to play? Also, any chance you'd set up some games with your followers? I'm a fan of yours, but still trying to slay some duck. You feel me? Sean, what's going on? I recently, I'm not the biggest gamer, and I've been recently trying to get back into games, so I'm just letting you know that because I'm not that good. But I've been playing some Call of Duty, actually, Cold War, with some of the people like who are from the Moon Gang. We've been playing some zombies, and I really want to do it. I know New World coming out, and that sounds fun because I think a lot more people could participate. And I know Vanguard's coming out for Call of Duty, I think in November. So I know a lot of people will be on that, but more than happy to. I would love to play these games. Just more of a way for us to all like relax and calm down, especially like if you're a gamer yourself. But I've been playing it on my PC. Would love to play with you, Sean. Can you say more about Cuban and Doge? I just know that he, I believe, is the biggest merchant, as in the Dallas Mavericks, for Doge, like in terms of the transactions and the money that they've accepted. He's been a big proponent of it. Specifically, like he's a proponent of crypto. I know he's had a lot of commentary on Bitcoin and Doge, specifically Doge. Same thing with Elon. Burns. I guess what other part should I dive into it? I just know that he's had that at the Dallas Mavericks arena for quite a while. Huge proponent. And same with Elon. And then Michael Saylor as well, who runs MicroStrategy, MSTR. I was reading a little bit. I think MSTR, like as a company, MicroStrategy, they own like over 100,000 Bitcoin. Like they're like on the books of the company. They have a huge bet going on in crypto. Very, very interesting. Can we do Ortex for ATER? Yes. The numbers are huge though. Short interest 54.54%, shares on loan 15.26 million, utilization 99%. It is on the FTD list, and as you can see from the price action, the bulls are stepping up. ATER, in terms of these FTD squeeze type plays, ATER checks off literally every box. If you're an FTD short squeeze, like if you're a proponent of that trading strategy, like ATER is like a 4 or 5 star setup right now. Wait, what's going on with Kramer? I know it seems cruel, but when I heard about Toast today, a new IPO, all I could think about was how the apes are toast. Who pissed in Kramer's cereal? What happened with Kramer? Why is he like yelling at all of us again? Is he just trying to stay like relevant once again? I feel like he doesn't even necessarily like believe the things he's saying about the ape nation and ape community or any of that. I think he's just, what can I say to drum up a reaction type of a deal. I don't know. Interesting. Can you check ONTX? I could pull it up really quick. Remember, with anyone on like Ortex, you could get a free week trial. Like the link's in the description. You could check out whatever you want, and if you like it, you sign up for it. If not, no harm, no foul. But check it out. And also, if you do like it and you want it for a year, you can get an even bigger discount. You would just like email Ortex and say Moon Gang discount for the year. No, ONTX has 4.6% short interest. That's not a short squeeze play. FSR has some promise. Curious what you think. FSR, Fisker, I like it. It's a US EV play. I do think it also has potential. FSR. Fisker, IPO not that long ago. Getting a little bit beaten down, but I'm just bullish on the EV sector, especially the US EV sector. Kramer is being a crybaby. I think sometimes he's being a crybaby, but he also, people in the ape community, and I don't know, I find it a bit embarrassing, have said some pretty horrific things to him. And I don't think it's a good reason to be like, well, he said bad things to us. Like, so? Two wrongs don't make a right. People, it's, there. I don't know. There's just too much hate. People, what, isn't there like a Mike Tyson quote about that? Something about like saying, like, I don't know. I don't want to go on this rant, but like, there's a lot of people who say things on the internet that they would never, ever have the balls to say in real life. And I think that's problematic. I think that's extremely problematic. And I think Mike Tyson has a quote along the lines of like something about like a lot of people talking as if they've never been punched in the mouth. And I think it goes both ways. I think people have said things to the ape community about how stupid and idiotic we are. And I was like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's a lot of impressive, informed people in the community. But on the other side of the coin, there are people from the community who have represented us very, very poorly and engaged in certain things they shouldn't have and said things that they shouldn't have, that like kind of just sheds a bad light on the community at large. Remember, whenever you're engaging in anything on social media, if you're an outspoken supporter of this community, what you do say does represent us. And I know sometimes, like, I've read things and I want to rip people apart and I want to tell them how I truly feel. But just remember, there's always someone watching. We've gotten to the level now where you got to be careful about hurting our community's, I guess, credibility. The SEC is watching us. They're listening to us. Obviously, they're listening to us. We don't want to mess up an opportunity to make legitimate generational change in the way that the market works just to get a good zinger across on Twitter. So be careful, folks. When you put things out on social media, it's going to be out there. It's not coming back. Hey, Mom, wondering if you could take a peek at UAMY given an outlook in EV autonomy. I'm in at 88 UAMY. just not moving. This thing is like perfectly range bound between $1 and 76 cents. Like it either needs to break up or down, but just range bound right now. We're only allowed to go loco at 354. Yeah, I mean, I should definitely sometimes heed my own advice. Like, I admit that. But also, I think there's a way. No, I should. No, you guys are all right. I should heed my own advice more often. Like, sometimes I blow up on people like Gasparino or whatever his name is. I obviously have a very, very low tolerance for people who are being purposely intellectually dishonest and lying. But I mean, I've read it. Some of the things, let's just take Kramer for an example. Like Kramer, I think, is just like weird, and he's just Kramer. He just does his own thing. And like, I don't know, like sometimes I'm like, all right, are you being sane or something? Gasparino, that Fox dude, he's like an actual piece of shit. Like there's a difference. I can't articulate it the best. But Kramer, I just kind of view as like this like crazy out there old guy. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, do you need help? And like, I think he's getting into fights with himself. And I think it's just like, it must be a mess of what's going on with his mind. Gasparino, on the other hand, I think is like actually a very, very bad person. I think he's a liar. Like, we've shown that he's a liar. He pumps stocks. He's a liar. He lies about he lies about everything. Like, he lied about being a Pulitzer nominated journalist. He has no journalistic integrity. All he does is lie, and then lie some more. And he's actively lying all the time, and he's pumping stocks. That guy, he drives me up a freaking wall because he is a verified liar. How does he have a career? He lied about this Pulitzer thing like a decade ago, and he still has employment? How? And he's pumping stocks. We showed how he pumped Robinhood. We showed how he lied about the politicians, the Democrats, because like obviously he has to get political. And he just lies all the freaking time. And then on top of that, he doesn't seem to know what he's talking about. Like he can't even construct a good, useful lie. If someone like me, in my understanding of the stock market, can quickly debunk what you're like saying, like, dude, you're supposed to have like a multi-decade career in this stuff. Like, you should be better at your lying. So I think of them differently, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe they are like cut from the same cloth. I don't know. But for being in this story now for the past 6 months, whatever's gone on in the background, my mind, I do think of those people as different players. I mean, I don't know. I probably should just heed my own advice and like, hey, if you have nothing nice to say, I probably shouldn't say it at all. Type of a deal, because like, hey, when any of us say anything, we are representing the community, and it's a very fine line between, okay, like, are you defending the community or are you just attacking another person? And it's a fine line, and different scenarios are different scenarios. And I think sometimes people in the ape community, other apes are like goading them into saying some things that maybe like shouldn't have been put out there. And then other times, I don't know, I see things and I was like, all right, good, that person deserved it. Like, that other person called it out. So like, it's situational, and I don't know, it's like the mood and the emotion of our crowd in general, but I don't know. Just be careful. They both suck, literally. Kramer's just a muppet running in circles going, whoops, Reno knows, and goes, hell yeah. Woohoo. Shout out, Burns. Do you believe the market will go down tomorrow if Evergrande gets bailed out tomorrow? Or likewise, if it does, could it affect AMC? I'm actually bullish on the market tomorrow. I'm bullish on the whole. I mean, now that the concerns, the uncertainty related to the FOMC meeting, gone. Evergrande lessening. Debt ceiling lessening. So we're getting... Like, it seems like every day from the start of this week to the end of this week, we're slowly getting rid of some of these uncertainties, which is better for the market. And that's why we're seeing the market go green right now as we're speaking. So if they get bailed out, I mean, it depends on how their bailout is structured. But I would my knee-jerk reaction is that it would be more of a positive thing of like the suppliers and people involved in it don't have to worry about their debt getting screwed over. But once again, it depends on the structure of the bailout and what's going on. But they met their first payment. They have another payment tomorrow, and then they have another payment the 29th. So I think the payment tomorrow is 80 million. It's either 80 million or 40 million. And then the one on the 29th is the other one. So they have to come up with $120 million. And I'm referring to Evergrande here between over the next 7 days. They have to pony up $120 million in interest payments. So we'll see how that's going to go. But with the FOMC meeting today, that's lessening some concerns for sure. I think the Evergrande situation is fizzling out. It's not done, but it's getting a little bit more calm. And the same with the debt ceiling issue in the US. So for me, the big elephant in the room is actually the seasonal weakness of September. So what I'm looking for is right here, SPY. I'm looking for a quick gap fill to 441. So I'm watching that. So maybe not a time frame, but more of a price level. I want to see the gap fill up to 441. And then from there, maybe a little bit of weakness, but I want to see the price action at 441. So in the short term, I am bullish until we hit that level. And then I'm going to reevaluate when we actually get there. How about checking the list you made this morning before you check other people's stocks? I went through all that, P. Diddy. We've been through actually 2 different sets now, but Wish, FFIE, MRIN, BB, ARQQ, LAUR, LAC, ATER, SoFi, Uber, CEI, RWK, SKLZ. P. Diddy, we crushed that entire list. Hey, Matt, it was hilarious watching you guys play the props on Call of Duty. Your hiding place was brilliant. I want to play with y'all. I mean, props is so much fun. I have a blast playing. I think that's the best Call of Duty game out there. Props is so fun. I'd love to play some props. I love that game. It's so much fun. I want to play some tonight. I mean, it's a good day. We're making some money. Stocks are green. It feels like a good day to play some props. Can you look at what ATER options were purchased today? I could tell you the flow, but I'm assuming just a lot were purchased. The flow is extraordinarily bullish. The premium is 60% bullish. I don't know what this is about. The filter seems a little bit weird, or maybe I messed something up. But the overall flow in the options market, ATER it really does have the makings for something crazy. The options chain getting bloated, the price action is bullish, the short interest is high, it's a lower float, the high utilization, it's on the FTD list. Like ATER, if you're looking for something that has incredible potential, you don't have to look more than ATR. Now, is that in any way a guarantee that it has to move? Absolutely not. But in terms of odds, like the odds are more favorable to you in ATR than a lot of the other stocks right now in the market. Fed taper announced. No, it's not. They said they might do it in November. And if they do it in November, it'll still gradually happen until mid-2022. But the taper was not announced right now. In fact, they specifically said we're moving forward with our normal schedule, as in the 120 billion in purchases monthly. So we're looking at maybe in November. We have to wait and see. We're going to need you to rant again to push AMC. If you need some motivation, water sucks, Gatorade is better. Man, I love that movie. What a movie. Waterboy. Water sucks. Water sucks. Hey, can you check out DDD? To me, it looks like it's been trading up and it's coming to the end of the wedge from January. I already bought it, just looking for some confirmation bias. More than happy to give you your confirmation bias. Whoa, this is the best stock I've ever seen. Great buy, good stuff. Honestly though, in the short term, I would look at the gap fill up to 29.50, not that far away. But you're just in this wedge. You have the lower highs, the higher lows. I believe this is manufacturing. For some reason, I thought it was related to uranium, but it's looking strong. We know that DDD can move, and it seems to DDD, D cubed, it has nice trends. Nice bull trends, nice bear trends, nice bull trends, nice bear trends, nice bull trends. Not the best bear trend recently, but when this thing gets moving, ride the trend. That's what you need to do with it. If this thing gets pushing, especially above 33.50, just ride it out, because we know this thing trends for quite a while. I don't know which way it's going to break. Lower highs, higher lows. It is technically a bullish pennant, so I would argue that the odds are in the favor of the bulls. But when this thing gets moving, just ride it out. Ride it, ride it, ride it. I used to think other stocks were distractions. Thanks to your audience, I now look around. How is APRN? Yes, go AMC. APRN. Let's check out this one. Looking good. Blue Apron. I mean, it's about time it started looking better. This stock has been getting destroyed. Ever since it actually started, it's been getting destroyed. But in the short term, so it did have this very nice gap fill on September 15th. This kind of reminds me of, in a certain way, of Smile Direct Club, where it was doing nothing. It finally gap filled, then it sold off, and now it's showing more strength. APRN, and it obviously Blue Apron has nothing to do with Smile Direct Club, but the charts look similar. It's currently sitting at resistance, so you need some demand to follow through, and from there, I would then closely watch 660. So I don't know if the risk reward's there, because your risk is 460. So is it worthwhile to go for 60 cents when your risk is $1.30? That the risk reward paradigm isn't there, but I do admit the chart looks strong. Well, Mama said, Mama said that alligators are sad because they can't brush all them teeth, and they don't have no toothbrush to brush all them teeth. Mama said, okay, what does Mama Boucher have to say? Imagine if Will Meade tweeted about ATR. It'd probably do super well. Imagine if Elon Musk tweeted about AMC tonight. Imagine we all know life isn't real. This is all obviously a simulation. That's how we've gotten to where we're at anyway. But imagine that this particular simulation is along the lines of, we're sleeping tonight and Elon Musk fires off a hot tweet of I love movies and I love that AMC is accepting Doge. Do you know how nuts that could get? Foosball is the devil. I know a Vicky Valancourt. Well, Mom was wrong. I want to watch that movie. Well, now I'm getting distracted myself. Do I want to play props tonight? Or do I want to watch that movie? I say these two things as if they're folk, I don't have that much time. I have too much other stuff to do. Already told Adam Aaron to get Elon on board. It'll fly. I mean, I would like him to. That would be amazing, but I feel like Elon's the kind of guy who does what he wants. You can do it. Hey Matt, my $5 chat at 3:16 was missed. It's currently down now, but I don't have options before the numbers seem pretty low given the green day. Hey Matt, what's missed? It's currently down now, but I don't have options. But I've done options before and numbers seem pretty low given the green day. Thanks. Okay. I don't know what stock you're necessarily referring to, but it's probably AMC or GME. Recently, both AMC and GME options, more so AMC, have suffered through what's referred to as IV crush. Right now, the volatility is relatively low. Premium is relatively cheap. We've seen it cheaper, but it's kind of cheap right now. And that's a better time to get in. But the question is IV going to pick back up? The best scenario is to get in right before IV picks back up. So you're not buying in a highly volatile environment, which is good. You want to get in a low volatility environment, but you also want to do it when volatility is about to pick back up. And with AMC, it's the interesting scenario where if we close and hold above 40, especially getting above 41.50, you might see that volatility come back in, which might turn on the options flow, the bullish options flow for AMC.
Whoa, brother. big super chat.
Whoa, brother. Thanks, LOL. I have a love-hate relationship with D Cubed. I was my first ever venture into the market when I was in high school back in early 2014. I didn't sell until 2017 because boomer parents believed in long-term investment. Boomer parents. Yeah. I mean, well, you have to understand that's how the market's always been pitched. It was a rarity to be an active trader, but now we're seeing that is definitely increasing. Bitcoin Z, BTCZ is a hidden gem. I don't know much about Bitcoin Z. BTCZ reminds me of DBZ. Does it have anything to do with Dragon Ball? Retail owns 80% of the free flow in AMC. How can heavy G's control the stock price for months on end? Well, if we want to jump into some of the specifics on that, retail owned 80% as of early June. So as of now, it might be higher, it might be lower, but that 80% figure comes from early June. And right now we're at late September. Obviously, a lot of things could have changed from them until now. But also your question more so, I think the important part of this question, and this is a great question, is how can the hedgies control the stock price for months on end? Well, remember, how is the stock price controlled? A stock price is controlled by the active traders, the people who are currently buying and the people who are currently selling. So let's just say that the 80% number is currently right, and it might be for all I know. If that 80% chunk of people are just holding stock, that means that they're no longer influencing stock. A stock moves by the current supply and demand, the current buyers, the current sellers. If you're not a current buyer or a current seller, you're not influencing the value of a stock. It's the current engagement. It's the current trading volume that moves a stock. So if it's the hedge funds in Wall Street, that leftover 20% that's actively engaging in AMC, well, they're the ones who are setting the price then. My SPRT disappeared on Robinhood, and I still don't know what happened. It switched over to GREE. Hey, Matt, do you think that the 3-minute chart of AMC looks like the daily chart might be a tinfoil hat that these charts because I stare at them too much? Possibility. Yeah, I guess a little bit. Somewhat, yeah, I see the similarity of what you're saying. Okay, like this would almost be early June, mid-June, it sells off, July, August, it pushes, comes down a little bit. I don't know what I would necessarily do with that info, like of how I would trade upon it, but I do see the similarities that you're seeing right here. SDC, a FTD play. So SDC is definitely on the threshold list. Oh, and for those of you who want to know about any, it's no longer on the threshold list, so it would no longer be an FTD like threshold short squeeze play. But anyway, talking about SDC, the Smile Direct Club, short interest 55%, shares on loan 51 million. So it's not really a low float stock. That's like one knock against SDC. I wish it were a bit of a lower float, but the utilization 96%, high short interest. I'm curious if it is going to end up gap filling. I still want that gap fill to 605 or whatever it is. We've had 3 red days in a row, and I'm still just like actively looking for this to get. Hang on, why is this not working? I think it's 605. Whatever the high was from. What is this date? September 16th, which is 605. So I'm just been paying attention to this gap below it. SDC right now. Okay. I am not in SDC or ATER. So I feel like I could say this in an unbiased manner because I have no skin in the game. ATER is a better setup as of right now. What is it? September 22nd, 3:37 p.m. in the afternoon. ATER is currently a better setup than SDC. Just because it's a better setup, does that mean that's the one that's going to make you more money? Well, no, not necessarily. But remember, the stock market is a game of odds. Like you should always be playing the things that give you the best edge. SDC, for all I know, it could gap fill at 605 tomorrow, bounce and rip to extraordinary heights. That's obviously a possibility. But at this moment in time, in real time, ATER, it is a bit chasing, but hey, it's at least moving. SDC, it's not really moving. It's not really doing anything. I mean, it traded 15 million and its average volume is 45, and we only have 20 more minutes to go. So the SDC, the volume and volatility has completely dried up, while ATER is the opposite. It's actually getting a lot of excitement. So I don't know. I'm trying to be unbiased. I don't have either, but if I had to bet right now, I would bet on ATER over SDC. Can we play a quick song, brother? Jeff, do you want to listen to the Moon? We could definitely crush that. I love that song. Hey, I love that song. I don't know if I'm going to get GMC, but whatever.
We're going to the moon. Screw candy, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. One day, very soon, gonna wake up on the moon. Brand new yacht and a McDonald's in my living room. Bright yellow Lamborghini, 50-meter swimming pool. Champagne every day, ain't fam, what you do? Wanna hang, wanna chill? Oh, you got a mansion too? Oh, that's right, held on tight, jack titties every night. We was in way back when they tried to drop it down to 10. And she couldn't comprehend, Ace was strong until the end. Now let's retell it, Citadel, they be sweating. Had enough of these felons, but the Ace we rebelling. Cause we never be selling till we send it to heaven. Now we be out here yelling, hey, screw you, Kenny! Bought my wife a minivan to share with the boyfriend. But I pull up in the Benz, plate saying olive crayons. Going on an airplane, don't think we'll be back again. Celebrating every day like it's your birthday. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Today's expectation, probably more manipulation. FUD, a creation of a crooked operation. Bought more while it was low, got more dips than Trader Joe's. Oh, you thought that we'd let go? What the hell you take us for? Holla if you spend your last dollar on bananas while living in squalor. We don't claim to be scholars, we the smooth brain dummies, and we never stood taller. Yeah, we do this for love and we do this for honor. Apollo 11 ain't got nothing on us. We the planet of the apes and in MOAS we trust. MOASS, oh hell yes. Gonna send it into space, go fire up the jets. Done my DD, call me Elton John, Rocket Man. This is the way, gonna be gorillionaires. Ground control to Major Tom, we about to have liftoff. Call us Neil Armstrong, gonna keep holding on. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon.
Going to the moon. Folks, shout out to the Grillionaires. That song is called To the Moon. It is by the artist, the band, the Grillionaires. Helping out AMC, definitely helping out ATER. They're awesome. Really, really cool guys. You can find them on YouTube. Once again, that's called To the Moon by the Grillionaires. They're actually so kind that my new, that intro, when I do those video updates, that little clip of just the intro thing, they were so kind to allow me to use that song. I love it. It's a great song. Definitely fun. A fun one. Definitely representative of the apes. ATER crushing. Look at that. We had this marked out. Folks, I hit it spot on. I don't want to hurt my arm patting myself on the back, but I feel like I am the stock market. You wake those days up and you just see, you see the matrix so clearly. You're just bam, bam. I know right there. We already had it marked out. It hit it to the cent. I'm just being an ass. There's nothing really special about it. How did I know this value? Folks, look at the high from September 14th. That technical breakdown I did, it's not that special. Anyone that tells you technical analysis is hard, they're on something. All I did, I was like, oh, hey, this is a high value. Look at, we have some resistance right here. And look at what acted as resistance a couple days later. The exact same one. Anyone can do technical analysis. I don't want you to think that technical analysis is like some special, crazy, hard to develop skill set. If you can spot highs and lows and basic trends, you're going to be good at technical analysis. That's all it takes. There was no special mathematical formula behind this. Technicals, patterns, cyclicals, it's easy stuff that all of you watching right now truly can master. You just have to put in a little bit of time. No, I am the stock market, and so is my wife. Are we expecting a dip tomorrow as it is Thursday? Actually, no. The weakest day for AMC is Wednesday. We did some stats on that. The weakest day is from Wednesday morning to Thursday morning. That's the weakest period of the week for AMC. I request Jackie Moon, Love Me Sexy, ATER Bevy. That's a Semi-Pro, another hilarious movie. P. Diddy, we did Uber. It's in the morning show, not this particular one. Like, I don't know which one you're breaking through or like running through. I could redo Uber instead of you tracking it down. Like, let's check out Uber. Let's see what's going on. So Uber, the breakdown on it was this. So it gapped up and showed strength. When things gap up and show strength, that typically means like a little bit more strength. So today was interesting. So I was watching this gap fill earlier on at 45.82, and now it's filled that, and since then it's retracted. So it now becomes tough because like that might be it. It did that gap fill. So I would almost want to see what it does tomorrow. And if there's weakness, like all of a sudden, if tomorrow or the next day we break below today's low, well, right away, then I would start thinking about this gap fill down to 40.23. So right now, Uber, it's patience. You got to wait on that one. Actually, whoa, we have weird gap regions. Uber has a lot of strange gaps. But anyway, the obvious gap, if there is any weakness, as in if we go to below today's low tomorrow or the next day, I would then be watching 40. But if it continues to like its trip upward, then I would be watching 48. But Uber, the name of the game, I would argue on this one is what happens tomorrow. Hope that helps you out, P. Diddy. Watch for the gaps on it. Can we play COD Zombies via my Xbox, by the way? You into Easter eggs? I think it is. I think it's cross-platform. I think the people I played with were all on Xbox, even though I was on my PC. The one I have is Cold War. I think there's a million different Call of Duty games, but that's the one I have. ATER has a short interest of like above 50%. It's incredibly high. I'm the one who asked for the wedge, and it helped me jump in. I'm making bank. Shout out for Jane Dots. Thoughts on fuel cell reversal in the making? Fuel cell having a great day. Same thing. EV sector picking up today. A lot of EV stocks were green. I would want to see a follow through. Fuel cell had a great day. Let's just see, is it like a one-time thing, or is it going to actually continue and build up some momentum? Momentum. Hey, Subaru guy here in ATR at 1420, waiting for volume to get a position in IRNT. Do you think a set volume alert, not trading? You could set an alert on both. I would want to see price and volume. How is IRNT doing? IRNT. The daily chart to me on IRNT looks weak. You would want to see it break above 32 and maybe specifically 35. Actually, I would care about 35. IRNT is what happens first. Does it go above 35 or below 29? That's the if then statement. I would be doing nothing on IRNT until one of those conditions is met. Hey Matt, thanks for all you do. Bought 10-15 ATR calls back at 10. Overall my account since listening to you has grown 380% this year. Let's go. Russell, that's so impressive. Seriously, you should be patting yourself on the back. That's awesome. That is so cool. Big congrats to you, man. Makes me happy. I mean, that's why I do this. I just want people to learn more about the market. I want to make some jokes. I want to listen to some cool music. I mean, why not? I think a lot of like the trading world, they love to be secretive and hide everything behind a paywall. And I just thought, I was like, well, I want to hang out with traders. I want to make some stupid jokes. Let's just do it for free. Let's see how it goes. Punch drunk. Don't scream at your screen. Don't scream at your screen too much. What did Punch Drunk say? Is this a new? Wait. Is Punch Drunk a new Rico? Rico seems like the kind of guy who used to yell at his screen, and now I wonder if Punch Drunk is that guy. Is it Rico 2.0? We're in the market for a Rico 2.0. It feels. I can't find out what he did or didn't say. All right, I think we are up to date there. Folks, we have about 10 minutes left until the market closes. The only reason I'm giving you this reminder is if you're a person in the US who is battling with pattern day trading and you're trying to make a trade today so you don't burn a day trade tomorrow, just friendly reminder that you have about 10 minutes. I'm saying FFIE has potential, but people need to do DD. Palantir invested in them last night, and Vanguard just invested. LFG, ATR, BBIG, FFIE, shout out Wall Street Viking. XELA looks bullish. Check chart looks like a cat in the hat forming. Sam I am calling out a cat in the hat. When we looked at XELA yesterday, I wasn't the biggest fan. Also, pretty low volume. It does look like it's fighting back. I'll give it that. It did a gap fill to the upside, so that's strong. Can it continue? Can it get above 225? Can it get above 260? It's just been downtrending slowly but surely. I would want to see that nice change in trend. Punch Drunk is claiming that people are getting banned for not liking the Grillionaire song. That's not true. People are not getting banned simply because they dislike the song. So it does sound like we have a Rico 2.0. Mods, if you're in here, let's see where Punch Drunk's gonna take this. Let's give him a little bit of room to talk and see how this really goes. Because, I mean, that's a good name, Punch Drunk. Like, I sense a good narrative already forming with this character. So let's see how volatile he really is. You know, once in a while, you just gotta let the inmates run the asylum and see how this is gonna go. I'm excited. What if Punch Drunk is Rico? I've been building up like the unusual suspects type vibe of Rico so much in my head. In my head, maybe not in reality, but in my head, Rico is an evil genius and it might be Punch Drunk. If any fellow Moon Gang want to Warzone, add me. Rocin, LATROCIN, hashtag 1888. I'm 47 years old, so not great, but I'm okay. Man, I guess I would play with you too. Shout out to Scott. That is LATROCIN, hashtag 1888. Oh, just so you know, my little tag thing, like the brackets that you get when you're playing Call of Duty, when I do it, if you play with me, you have to switch it over to apes. That's how we run it with people. You have to be an ape. Someone says Unusual Whales Twitter. What is Unusual Whales up to? If you guys like Unusual Whales and you want to check the flow, there's a discount for you in the description. Unusual Whales. Unusual. We follow each other. Hey, how nice. What did they tweet? Uber. Powell says no one should assume the Fed can fully protect the markets or the economy in event of a default. This is bullish. PayPal, BBIG. The Fed is evaluating whether to launch a digital currency and in what form, Powell says. Interesting. Shout out to Unusual Whales. Options bought when AMC down 1.5%, now up 3.58%, 48. I know theta, but odd to be barely even. Probably because of volatility. Look at AMC ever since 10:30 this morning has had no volatility and really no price movement. So theta is working against you, and also the volatility has just not returned. That's a clan tag. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not the biggest gamer. I'm just a boomer. Enough with the games, Mark. We know you're the real Rico. He caught me. I wish I were the real Rico. Will the real Rico please stand up? What was his drunk punch? I like that name. Why do I like that name so much? Drunk punch. Oh, I'm drunk punch. I got drunk punched. Oh, I'm punch drunk. I'm punch drunk. I'm drunk punch. It feels like it should be a saying. Like, what were we talking about? Not finna, the other one. A lick. I'm going to lick. Remember when we were talking about licking liquor stores? Like licking the store and the finna lick a store? That type of a thing. Feels like punch drunk could be another saying kind of in that entire world. It could work. Back to the drawing board. We have an idea. An idea is brewing. What else do we have? What else do we have on the day before things close up? Before the casino closes its doors? What else do we have going on? So Jim Cramer said buy AMC last week at 50. He knew Hedges were about to drive it down. Now that it's back up to 40, he's losing his shit because he knows what's about to happen. Oh, man. Evergrande, the $340 billion disaster. Shout out Tom Nash. The same banks that are telling you to expect a 20% correction are the same banks that told you to triple down on China. Good point. Good point. What else do we have going on? I'm just trying to see if there's any breaking news that we need to go over. Hilarious. Nothing really. I think we already kind of covered all the major news and everything that relates. Feels like we kind of got through all that. We have about 4 minutes until market closes. Just so you know everything, I will be doing an update video tonight. That update video is going to end up on the Kohrs Lite channel. Be there, be square. Those are your options. You're either there or you're going to be a square because you're not around. Those are your options. Are you a square or you're not a square? There's certain points in your life that are pivotal, and this is one of those points. Are you going to be a square or not be a square? If you want to be around and not a square, you know where to go. Kohrs Lite, it's free. Check it out. I don't know. It's somewhere. It's in the description, and just find it. But these are where the update videos are going to go because YouTube doesn't like how much I post in a day. Whoa. Elizabeth Holmes' private text reveals she described herself as the best business person of the year. Me too. Me too, Elizabeth Holmes. I feel you. I feel that. Private text reveals she described herself as the best business person of the year. Wow. Same. I get that vibe. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. If you guys don't know about Elizabeth Holmes, she ran Theranos, and it was like one of the biggest freaking scams ever. She just lied and lied and lied, and then lied some more, and then lied a bit more. There's a lot of documentaries on it. It was just complete bullshit from the word go, Theranos. Interesting that she describes herself as the best business person of the year. Probably the same guy. Like, she probably got, I don't know. I'm assuming she was texting with that guy from WeWork. They're like, oh my God, we're so good at business. Like, you're good at business. I'm good at business. I'm the best business person of the year. You're the best business person of the year. We're both, we're business. That's how I assume the conversations go between Elizabeth Holmes and the guy from WeWork. They're just both not the best business people of the year. How could they be the best business people of the year when I'm the best business person of the year? Like, heavy lies the crown. You guys know? You know. Apparently, I stopped being a good employee around 5 months ago. Eric, an astronaut for 5 months. I'm licking all these ATER bears right now. I love you, Matt. Shout out, Joseph. Hey, Matt, are you picking who you will play with and where do I sign up? I've just been kind of doing it randomly. Like people just reached out and they're like, yo, here's my like battle tag. And then I just started like playing with them. It wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't like a set thing or anything like that. I just started like random. When I got this new computer, I was like, oh, I think I could download a game. And then I bought a controller and then I started playing. So if you want, you could just like DM me your battle tag or something like that. Matt, hope your fridge game is on point for that Cribs vlog. Cheez-Its. Shout out RX22. What do I think about investing in mortgage companies right now? Eviction moratoriums have been lifted, so I bought calls on MITT and IVR. I like the thesis. Like it seems sound to me, but I'm also not like the person who's like the end all be all on commenting on mortgage companies. All right, where are we at, folks? Oh, 60-second warning. If you're playing games on a PC, how can you not be using your mouse and keyboard? Because my left hand isn't fast enough. Like, you know how you have to hit all the buttons real quick? Like, I feel like the dexterity is just like, you know, just like not there. And I also, okay, seriously, this is not a joke. Like, I think a lot of you are going to think I'm messing around. I cannot just push down my pinky. It's impossible. So, okay, on my right hand, pinky just goes down. That's fine. No problem. Complete mobility in my pinky. No problem. No problem. What? Now it's starting to have a little. Okay, but you see generally of how I can control my pinky. My left hand, no way, Jose. My nerves don't allow for it. As much as I want, I cannot. Look at. They do the exact same thing. No matter what. Like, that can't be right? Like, I can't. No matter how hard I try, my brain does not fire the neurons differently for these two different fingers. Like, they're tied together. I don't know. So that's that's why I play with a controller. Oh man. I DM'd you my tag. Oh, shout out AMC Youngster. First finger on my left hand won't bend without my thumb. It's crazy, right? I just feel like my neurons or my nerves or something's not working the way they should be doing. But folks, ding, ding, dingity, ding, ding, ding. The casino is closed. All right. Folks, what a day. What a green day. AMC up 3.25%, GME up 0.1%, ANY up 9.67%, ATER ripping up 28.6%. The SPY up, the Q's up, IWM up. Green, 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 green. Money, 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 money. That's it. What a day. What a fun Wednesday. Seriously, thank you for all of the support. If you want Public, if you want to avoid market makers, all that stuff, sign up for Public. If you want Voyager, sign up for Voyager. That code is Matt21. Public, you have to go to, I don't know, public.com/Matt Kohrs, something like that. If you want TradingView, here, this is easier. All the things I use, if you're at all interested in them, they're in the description of the video. So check that out. The plan for me tonight is to post the update video on the other channel on Kohrs Lite. I'll tweet it out if you want the link for that later. And then I'll be streaming at the crack of dawn tomorrow, 9 a.m. bright and early. Crack of dawn, right when the farmers get up, your boy will be streaming the market open. But overall, thank you for hanging out with me today. Super positive vibes, people making money. It's always fun. Always fun. Thank you for everything, and I will be catching you later on. Remember, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.